Hey everyone, Cole from Geek Life Gaming coming at you with my updated Dinobot deck profile. As you can see, I now have Grimlocks, and so I changed up the battle deck. Obviously, I changed up the lineup, and so I'm going to give you my new deck profile. So we actually come out to exactly 25 stars with this build. As you can see, we're using Snarl, Sludge, and Grimlock. So let's give a rundown on the characters again, just in case you don't know what they do. Snarl, when you flip to his alt mode, and you have no cards in hand, you draw 2 cards. And he's got 9 health, and he's got 4 power and 2 defense in his alt mode. As for his bot mode, he has 5 attack and 2 defense. And when he attacks in his bot mode, you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. So you get a little bit of stacking when he attacks. So if you have something with double orange in your hand, you can just, when he attacks, you can put that on top and then draw into it for increased power. Next up, we have Sludge. In his alt mode, he's got 4 attack and 1 defense. When you flip to his alt mode, you may move any number of damage counters from your other Dinobots to Sludge, so you can keep a lot of the heat off of some of your Grimlock and Snarl by flipping back to Sludge's alt mode, so you can pull damage off and put it on Sludge. And then for Sludge's bot mode, he's got 5 attack and 2 defense, so he increases both his attack and defense when he switches to bot mode. And when one of your Dinobots attacks, you repair 1 damage from it. So he's a really good utility piece. I normally attack with him last, so that way he takes as little damage as possible. I normally attack with him last and force him to attack into Snarl or, well, I haven't tested it yet, but swinging into Grimlock too. And finally, we have Grimlock, the Dinobot leader. He is a leader, a Dinobot, and he is melee. In his alt mode, he's got 4 attack and 2 defense. And when you flip to this mode, one of your Dinobots gets bold 3 until the end of turn. And because it does not say one of your other, when you flip to his alt mode, you can even give him bold 3. And then let's see what his bot mode does. In his bot mode, he's got 6 power and 2 defense, so he increases his power by 2 from alt to bot. And when this does more than enough attack damage to KO an enemy, your opponent chooses one of their characters and assigns the rest of the damage to it. So he does overkill, which is spectacular if you can slap a bunch of power increases on him. So that is my character lineup. And now we'll get into the battle deck. So first up, since we have Grimlock now, I went with 3 Matrix of Leadership. Since Grimlock is a leader card, the Matrix of Leadership can go on him. So the Matrix of Leadership, you can only put it on Autobots. It gives power to the character. It gives 1 power to the character it's equipped to. And when the Matrix of Leadership is on a leader, each of your other characters gets +1 and Pierce 1. So now with Grimlock in the deck, we can bolster all our units with 1 upgrade. And then we're still running 3 Jaws of Steel to give whatever Dinobot it's equipped to bold 2. We're still running that. We are running 3 grenade launchers. I got my 3rd grenade launcher, so that's a good card to put on Grimlock when you're going for a knockout because it adds 4 power. So that's just another way to increase the attack damage on that. We are running, since all of our characters are melee, we are running Power Sword to give bold 3. It's a pretty good option to get more damage across. I changed up a little bit. I decided to run 2 Scrapper Gauntlets. I play against quite a few decks that like to rely on their weapons, so I figured Scrapper Gauntlets wouldn't be that bad of an upgrade to put in. Also, it's an armor, so it's really not interfering with any of the key upgrades, and it affords a defense to whatever character it's equipped to. We are running 2 piercing blasters, just giving Pierce 3 in there just to get a little extra damage across if necessary. I might end up taking that out. I don't know what else I would put in for it right now, but Piercing Blaster may come out. It's just in there for the time being. Maybe once Wave 2 comes out, there will be a better, well, there will probably be a lot of better upgrades. And we are running still 2 Datapad to combo with Snarl. The Datapad, when the upgraded character attacks, you draw a card, and then you may put a card from your hand on top of your deck. So if you set up Datapad and Snarl, you can tailor the top 2 cards of your deck. So it's not a bad utility. And then to round out the upgrades, we have 2 Improvised Shield. This is mainly in here more for the double orange than it is for the tough one. But the tough one's still not a bad increase for any of your characters. So that's why I only run it at 2. And that's all for the upgrades. So now we have the actions. Because everything is 10 stars or under, including our big bad boy Grimlock, we are running 3 ready for action. Untap one of your characters that has 10 or fewer stars. So we are running ready for action in this deck because it can untap any of the characters. We have 2 I Still Functions. Some people may not like to run it. I love to run I Still Function. It has secured me plenty of games, and I Still Function can come in real handy now that I have Grimlock. Grimlock's going to be a big target for my opponents to get off the field as quickly as possible. So if he does get removed, I Still Function now has a better target than when I used to run Slug or even Snarl. Got 2 new designs, just in case I got 2 upgrades in hand that I'd like to play on the same turn. I got 2 of those. I have 2 Incoming Transmissions. Draw 2 cards and then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. It's some more deck tailoring for Snarl. It's not that bad of a card. I only run it at 2 because I don't think I need to be drawing that much or stacking too much in this deck. We have 3 Dino Chomp. Really fun action. You scrap your hand and one of your Dinobots gets bold 5. So that's just laying on the heat in the late game. If you don't have many cards in your hand, it's a good card to just go in there and get some extra damage across. We have 2 One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall. I believe I mentioned this last time I did a profile for the deck, but I like the One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall because it does 3 damage to one of my characters and one of my opponent's characters. However, with Sludge, I can easily get rid of that damage. So that's why I only run it at 2 because 6 damage that I'm doing to my own characters is still a lot, which is so that's why I only run that at 2. I mainly use One Shall Stand, One Shall Fall to either get a knockout or set up a knockout. I run 2 Repair Bays. This one might get up to 3. It repairs 1 damage from each of my characters. So this one might get up to 3 just to take, just so that way Sludge doesn't have to do all the work. I got 2 Leap into Battles. I don't want to rely too much on the actions, so that's why this is only at 2. One of my characters gets 3 power until end of turn. Quite a good action, but I'm only running this one at 2 because there were a lot of actions that I did want to run, so I had to either not run some or run all the ones that I wanted to at lower values. So that's why Leap into Battle is only at 2. And then to round out the 40 card battle deck, I have 2 Inspiring Leaderships. Draw 3 cards and then scrap 2 cards from your hand. I just kind of remembered that this is very similar to the Graceful Charity spell card in Yu-Gi-Oh! If anybody is familiar with that card, but Inspiring Leadership, that one can hopefully get some of my key pieces into my hand, but at the same time, I don't think I need to draw too much, so that's really in there if I'm really strapped for cards. And that is my whole deck profile. Once again, this is the new and updated Dinobot profile featuring Grimlock. This has been Cole from Geek Life Gaming, and we'll see you next time.